The first error that I made was just having no program, not tracking exercises, not tracking weight lifted. I was tracking nothing. And there's a great quote that sums up why we need to track these things. What is measured can be progressed. If you don't track how much money you're making versus how much you're spending, you're going to have a very average idea of your financial situation. If you don't track how many calories you're consuming versus how many calories you're burning, it's going to be very hard to have an idea of if you're going to lose weight, gain weight, or maintain weight. There's so many things that we can apply that to. And the fact is, at minimum, we have to track the amount of exercises that we're doing, what exercises we're doing, in what sort of rotation, and then it's like we have to track the weight lifted to make sure that we're implementing a principle called progressive overload. And I had no program just simply because I just wanted to lift weights. I was just new to it, man. I was trying to figure out technique. I was trying to figure out how much I should train, and I was just getting told by my friend Rob, who had like a bench press in his garage, and he had a massive chest, and I was like, mate, what did you do to get that massive chest? And he was just like, I've got a bench press in my garage, so I just do heaps of that. So I did heaps of bench press, and that didn't actually get my chest. I didn't have the correct technique, and I actually developed pretty poor posture. My shoulders were rounded over. I wasn't feeling it in my chest, I was feeling it in my shoulders, and that was because my scapula wasn't retracted and depressed. But that's a bit of a side note. But yeah, I just got into it because I was just keen and eager, and that's what a lot of people do. When you're a beginner, you just think, okay, I'm lifting weights, that's better than not lifting weights, so I've already taken a big step, and that's true. You have made significant progress by simply just doing that. But we don't just want to get results, we want to get world-class results. We don't just want to train, we want to optimize our training if you're serious about transforming your body and transforming your life. And creating a program or getting a workout program given to you by someone that's more intelligent than you in this area is going to be a significant way to actually make as much progress as you can in the phase that's called the newbie phase or the beginner phase. And that would be the first 6 to 12 months of your lifting career. You have this golden opportunity that you don't get access to ever again, and that's lifting weights for the first time. And that's why you can make progress by doing training that's all over the place, not following a program, not tracking how much you're working out, not tracking what exercises you're doing, all weight lifted, because your body hasn't seen a stimulus like this before. So when you start training, it's such a difference to zero training, and your muscles go, wow, what the hell is this? You get really sore, but you also get stronger. You can increase your weight so much faster. You can build muscle so much faster. You can, you're in this rare place where you can build muscle and lose fat at the same time, because even though you're in a calorie deficit, which is pretty much impossible to build muscle as you become an intermediate and advanced lifter, as a beginner, because you're in this calorie deficit and you can still drop body fat. Well, you have to drop body fat if you're in a calorie deficit, but when you're mixing that with weightlifting for the very first time in your life, you have this golden opportunity to build muscle and lose fat at the same time, which is pretty much everyone in the world's goal. Carry less fat, but build more muscle. Carry less fat, build more muscle. And when you get more advanced, you have to go from a bulk phase to a cut phase, bulk phase, cut phase, and you have to keep optimizing processes and repeating, rinsing and repeating. But when you're just beginning, you can just bang it out. 2 birds with 1 stone, and that's just lifting weights and eating in a calorie deficit. So I know if you are a beginner, it can be super overwhelming to hire a professional. Number one, it's an expense, but number two, it's very uncomfortable because you're trying to find your feet. But if you do invest into a coach or getting a program, a decent program too, then you can really, I would say, exponentially increase your results. Because if you get into great habits as a beginner, you don't have to undo bad habits. That is what I had to do when I first started training. I lifted too heavy too early. I just did exercises that I liked or that I was good at. I had a ton of weak points. I had a sore lower back quite a lot of the time because I was lifting with terrible technique. Squatting felt awkward. I had to try and keep my knees from going over my toes because I thought that was a bad thing. I now know different, but squatting felt terrible because of that. I was trying to keep my knees behind my toes, and that throws your sense of gravity off. It makes you want to fall backwards. And I've dived into the research on this too because I made a whole video on it. But when you take the pressure off your knees by not putting your knees over your toes, that extra tension goes into your hip. And when there's more tension in your hip, you have more potential of having lower back pain if you're not squatting correctly. And I definitely wasn't. If you are going to go knees behind toes, then you're better off doing a low bar back squat because the weight is better positioned for you to have a better center of gravity to squat. But anyway, not everything, but most exercises hurt when I went heavy. That's why I didn't really go heavy because it hurt. So what I'm trying to say is just try and get a program, man. Get a program. Look, there's a ton online. Obviously, I have mine at teambrockashby.com. If you want to use my programs, they're all sound. They're programs that I have done. They're programs that I've studied for and invested my time, soul, and energy into. There's other programs online too, whatever. Your friend might be a personal trainer. Ask them for a program. Hopefully, they're legit. But tracking a program, tracking what exercises you're doing, tracking the weight that you're lifting, these are super key pillars to ensure that you're making progress. And if you compared an advanced lifter program to a beginner program, they're very different. And with a beginner program, you don't have to do many exercises. You actually don't have to train that often too. You can get away with training 3 to 4 times a week, whereas you're advanced, you may have to dial that up just to get more training volume in and allow your body to get warm for the amounts that you're going to lift, because as an advanced person, you should be lifting a lot more than you were as a beginner. But getting a program will fast track you 1000%. And just a bit of key points with training programs is a rough guide is following a program for 4 to 6 weeks. As a beginner, you can get away with doing it for longer because you're so not used to this training stimulus that you can do the same things over and over and over again because you have so much ground to make up. As an advanced person, you've pretty much seen every program under the sun, every exercise under the sun, every rep range and tempo under the sun, that you have to change slightly more frequently. I would change every 3 to 4 weeks as an advanced person. Unless you're still progressing with certain exercises, then you can keep those exercises in and bring in some other ones. But yeah, it's a really ideal situation. So try to train the program for 4 to 6 weeks. Keep the same weekly program. As a beginner, you can literally have 2 full body days. Like, this is a cheat code for beginners. You can have full body day A and full body day B. And you don't have to work on a 7-day training cycle. You can work on an 8-day training cycle. It's just going to change the days that you train throughout the week. So you could do Monday, full body A, Tuesday, rest. Wednesday, full body B, Thursday, rest. And then Friday, you go back to full body A, and then you take a rest Saturday, and then Sunday, full body B, rest Monday, Tuesday, full body A, and you just keep alternating workouts because you're so fresh, you can continue to do the same exercises for a while. Like, you could do that for 4 to 6 weeks and still make incredible progress, build significant muscle, drop body fat if you're consuming the right amounts of calories, and you're off. That's just a quick, little program. And with that full body program, man, I could spend all day breaking that down and what that could look like. But ultimately, as a beginner, full body workouts are a great place to start.